Hi everyone, welcome to Show the World Your Garden Hawaii edition. We are on the island of Maui, headed out to another tiny island off the coast called Lanai to meet Debbie. Now a lot of you know Debbie from our live streams, and she's a wonderful gardener, but growing on an island definitely does have its challenges, but Debbie is always finding new ways to grow and share with others. So join us as we head out to her tropical garden. And there's tons of surprises along the way. You are gonna love this one. Hi, Debbie.
Hi,
it's great to be back.
Yay, it's so good to have you back. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome, and I can't wait to see your garden.
Well, let's go head to the car.
Sounds good. Debbie, this is like a tropical oasis. It's
do
so
love
beautiful.
Thank you. I have so much pleasure being out here. It's wonderful.
Well, tell me a little bit about when you started gardening.
Well, I started gardening really, it was introduced to it with my grandmother. She had a great big garden, and she actually lived on the mainland. We lived in Hawaii, but we would go every summer, and I just have so many fond memories of gardening with her. That really was the start, and then I seriously started as an adult, really not until I moved here to Lanai and after I retired. And just decided I wanted to do it as a hobby, and then it turned into much more than that. And now I just really love growing our food and having fresh fruits and vegetables. And sometimes it's hard to get them here on Lanai, really high quality organic produce. So it became a little more serious after that.
And I'm sure living on an island, you really have to grow some of your own because food is probably quite expensive here, right?
It is expensive, and it's just not available sometimes.
So out of necessity.
Right.
What do you enjoy the most about gardening? What are a few things that you enjoy?
I would say just being able to have something productive to do outside. And I also find it really, it brings me really close to God because He created us to live in a garden originally.
Yes.
And it just, when I read scripture, there's so many references to gardening.
That's wonderful. Well, Debbie, show the world your garden.
Okay, let's go.
I'm so excited to see your garden. Tell me a little bit about this beautiful area here.
Well, I garden in 3 different areas at this house. Here on the patio is the container garden, and I got lots of herbs, as you can see, and flowers for the pollinators. I love to sit here in the morning. It's one of the places I do my Bible study in the morning. And it's just a real pleasure to be out here. This is where I do my seed starting. It does get some afternoon sun, so sometimes I have to move things down so that it won't get too hot but it gets some nice morning shade, and then later in the day it gets some more sun.
Perfect.
And it's a good place to get seeds started.
Perfect. Now, are you able to get any transplants here on the island, or do you pretty much grow everything from seed?
Pretty much I have to do everything from seed because we don't have a garden center where I can go and get transplants.
Wow.
So then that makes it challenging. And this year it was particularly challenging because I think my seeds were getting old. And so I didn't get a lot of germination, so things got started really late, and I tried again thinking they're not that old. And then I just gave up and bought some more seeds. Things got in the ground late this year, but that's okay because we have a long growing season.
That's great. And you're making the challenge of not being able to get your own plants work by starting seeds.
Okay, that was the duck, and this is the back garden.
Ooh, fun. It's like a little tropical oasis out here. Just so pretty.
It's gotten a little wild. This is a volunteer gooseberry or
Love it.
ground cherry. Here we call it a poha berry, and it's actually a very popular kind of fruit here in Hawaii. People love it. And as you can see, it grows really well.
It's going crazy.
Peppers over here, they were all overwintered, which is amazing. I keep wanting to try some different pepper varieties, but these keep growing.
So tell me what's going on back here. Your tomatoes, whatever you're doing it right because they are big and healthy and look absolutely gorgeous.
I learned this from this Next Level Gardening, Brian. These I actually didn't get in until late. That's why they're not really, they're just starting to ripen. It's hot here until November generally, so they'll do fine. They'll all fruit.
This eggplant, Debbie, I'm kind of jealous. It looks absolutely beautiful. I love the striping on it.
This is Listata eggplant, and it too was overwintered. It looked horrible. It was covered with spider mites and all kinds of disease, and I just cut it way back and keep trimming off all the bad leaves, and it's doing really well now.
So in the tropics, you can really grow things all year. That's incredible.
Yes, you don't get fruit all year, but the plants continue to grow, and then you still need to cut them back, and they'll start fruiting again. We never go below 10 hours of sunlight. It just at 10 hours, like right on the shortest day of the year, it's like 10 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. So, but the plants still really, really slow down during that time. And then when we start getting more sunlight, they start growing some more.
As beautiful as your garden is so far, this is really the star of the show right back here.
The dragon fruit.
Yes.
It's been in here about 5 years, and it is getting huge, and we're afraid it's going to fall over because it's getting so top heavy. And it's kind of hard to prune because it's so, you need to take off these underneath pieces, the older ones, and it's hard to get to them without getting all scraped up from the thorns. But it's really, really doing well. One day I woke up and I had 30 blossoms.
Oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. I bet that was just unbelievable.
Oh, it really was.
So the blossoms turn into these beauties, right?
Yes. So it blooms, and then they, get a small fruit on the bottom. When I can reach them, I hand pollinate them. They don't really need to be, but I'm not sure that when I do hand pollinate them, they get bigger. So we really enjoy them. I can give you one if you'd like.
I would be thrilled. Oh, you just twist it and pop it off?
I can just twist it up. There
oh
we
my
go.
gosh, look at the color of that.
They're white on the inside with little black seeds, of course, if you know dragon fruit.
This is really amazing to be able to show the world your garden here in a tropical paradise. I mean, dragon fruit is such a, for those of us that can't grow it, it's absolutely incredible.
I would love to send some of my garden home with you, and you could plant it in yours. Okay,
what you got?
Do it.
I think I have a feeling.
Some dragon fruit.
Oh, I've always wanted to grow dragon fruit too. Wow, look at that monster cutting there.
Okay.
Oh man, it's gonna be some nice dragon fruit. Thanks.
You're welcome. It'll be so fun to see them growing in your garden.
What's one of your favorite parts of your garden?
Well, honestly, my favorite part and my favorite time to be in the garden is in the morning when I'm doing my quiet time up there on the deck like I showed you. It's just so peaceful, and it's cool in the mornings, and I'm reading God's Word, and I'm looking at His creation, and it's just so incredible. Probably the very favorite thing is planting the seedlings into the garden once they've gotten to the point where they can be planted.
And I also want to tell you too, just thank you so much for how much you're giving to other people too. You shared with us about your friend at the community garden and how you're sharing with people here in the community your vegetables that you're growing. And that's really a blessing to so many. And I just really want to acknowledge you for that and say thank you for being such a giver.
Oh, thank you. And I want to say hi to everybody out there. It seems kind of funny having this camera looking at me, but I know that you all are on the other end of it. And I've so enjoyed being in the live streams with you and chatting with you. And now I get to show you my garden. It's so fun. So it's been a great time having them here. So hope you guys are enjoying it. And we'll go over here and look at the third part of my yard that I garden in. And these are half pipes.
Wow, I love
My husband actually found these. He works over in an area of the island called Kanepu'u, and he was out in the woods one day and he found these. I used to use them for cattle when they had cattle here on the island. It's just a perfect way to do strawberries, and you don't have to bend over to pick them or to plant them.
Debbie, I gotta ask you, is this what I think they are?
Oh,
Maybe?
yes, absolutely, bananas.
Whoa, no way. From a tree.
One of the things that I was told is as the leaves die, then when there is only one green leaf left, which I don't think there is anymore, they're ready to pick. But I really like to wait until they actually start turning yellow. But I think they're a little bit sweeter when I let them really ripen on the tree.
Yeah, there's a little of everything here. It's incredible.
It truly is a paradise. I see this here. Is this a banana flower?
That's
is that
the
a thing?
banana flower.
Okay.
And it's so fun when they come out because you just see the tree, and then one day I notice, oh, there's another one coming out.
Oh, fun.
They come out from the middle of the stalk, and then they start out with just looking like this, and then as they open, these little petals fall off, and more bananas are revealed.
I wanted to kind of surprise our viewers a little bit with, I think it's going to be a really cool part of you because you're such a giver. And that is another spot that you garden in.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that
Okay.
so we can get a preview before we head over there.
Just before COVID hit, they opened a community garden here for Lanai residents. It was built by the company Pulama Lanai, and they have about approximately 50 by 20, so 100 square foot plots. And I think there are 40 gardening plots and 40 animal plots, so you can have chickens or goats in the animal plots. I have a garden plot, and I'm excited to show it to you.
You guys are going to love this. So here we are at your community garden. I can't wait to see it. It looks so pretty. But I know you've got quite a story behind this place.
Yes, I do.
Pretty
So
special.
welcome.
Thank you. I love it already.
So in 2021, my brother, who lives here and has some mental disabilities, and I'm his caretaker, he got very, very ill. And it was off and on for about 6 months, some scary times, some very stressful times, and the garden just wasn't a priority. So this garden, and my home garden, but especially this one because it's sight unseen, right? It just really got in bad shape. After he got better, I just didn't have the ambition to come out here. It was enough just to take care of my garden, and I still needed to do caretaking responsibilities for him. A good friend of mine named Carolyn, she said she would really love to help me with the garden, and I was talking to her about it, maybe I should just give it up. And she goes, no, don't do that. I would love to help you. She has some physical disabilities. She's broken her back and can't do a lot of the really hard gardening work, but she gave me the encouragement to get started again. And she comes out with me once, sometimes twice a week, and she brings snacks for us and sets up the table with the tablecloth and just makes it really fun to be out here. And she does what she can. We lovingly named the garden Lilikoi Blessings.
Oh.
We have a very abundant lilikoi plant back there, and when we first started it, it was like taking over the garden, and she has a way of always turning something into a positive. So she said, well, I think we should name the garden, and she said something about lilikois, and I said, what about Lilikoi Blessings? Because I feel like, gardening is a blessing from God. And she goes, that's perfect.
And for those of you that don't know, lilikoi is passion fruit.
Well, we've got some pineapple.
Can't be in Hawaii without growing
That's
pineapple, right?
And some sweet potatoes, purple sweet Okinawan sweet potatoes. We've got corn, obviously. Behind the corn, we've got some artichokes. And this actually is taro, or in Hawaiian we call it kalo.
So tell me what you got going on right here.
That's shredded cardboard, actually. We have a hard time getting, we don't have a lot of leaves that fall here, and it's hard to get stuff shipped here for mulch. So we get lots of cardboard because stuff does come by Amazon. And so my husband bought me it's actually a paper shredder they can shred 12 sheets of paper.
Oh my goodness.
And it'll shred cardboard. And look.
Oh
the
my
first
gosh,
day,
little
it's
tassels.
getting little tassels on it. Oh, I'm so excited.
You're gonna have some ears of corn soon.
Yeah. Wow.
Now I do need to get a closer look at the passion fruit, lilikoi as you call
Okay.
it. It's just massive. I can't get over how big
It
this
is.
is.
Look at this.
It's massive. How are you supporting such a huge plant?
Well, there's actually two trellises here. When the garden got neglected, the lilikoi just took over the whole thing. So we'll just welcome it, and we're hopefully going to get a lot of lilikoi this year.
Now one of my favorite flowers you've got, very close to my heart,
Yes.
sunflowers. What a gorgeous little burst of summer sunshine this is to
Oh,
see
I'm
here
just
on
loving
Lanai.
it. And I'll tell you, in my view, it's such a God thing. They were growing, I didn't know when they would flower, and they just flowered 2 days before you guys showed up. So
Perfect
I can
timing.
show the world my sunflowers. I've gotten some things in really late. I'm hoping I'll be able to get things. There's squash and watermelon and some other kinds of smaller melons. And then we use some clover as a living mulch under the sunflowers, which I want to try to do more of. I think it's going to work out really well. I told you I had a little surprise.
Can't
so
wait.
Alan, took some of the taro out when I was cleaning up that patch.
Oh.
And Alan made some poi. This is really fresh. He just made it last night.
Oh my goodness.
Got some for
Okay.
you too, Jerry.
All right.
Very authentic Hawaiian dish made from your own taro root.
Yes, yes.
Wow. Okay. So you just take a spoonful and just. I like it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I like it.
Good. And
Okay.
some people do dip it, but I think mostly they just eat it as a side.
It's delicious. Thank you so much.
You are
It was so
welcome.
thoughtful.
That's interesting.
We actually brought a surprise for you too.
Oh, how about that?
So on behalf of the Cali Kim team and also on behalf of Smart Pots, we just want to thank you for how much you're giving to the community, giving to your friends, and also to thank you for letting us come and visit your beautiful tropical garden and showing it to the world. So we brought you a little garden goodie here
Oh,
that
I
hopefully
think
you
I know
can
what
find
this
some
might
space for
be.
somewhere.
Oh, I love it.
Good.
Thank
This is a little
you.
shorty Smart Pots raised bed, and I
Yes.
think they grow really, really well here. Well, Debbie, thank you so much for showing the world your garden. I know I've had a ton of fun, and I know our viewers have really enjoyed it too.
It's been awesome. I feel so honored to be your second one to show the world.
Well, comment below. Let me know your favorite part of Debbie's garden. I'm sure there's going to be so many, it's going to be hard to choose. And you never know where Camera Guy and I will turn up next to show the world your garden. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.
See you in the next video.